nálatok van?
Ledobtam már földön.
Jó, akkor nézzétek a könyv, írt a könyvbe.
Írt is bele.
Hát azt írta, hogy die, az nem olyan jó, de akkor mi kimegyünk, ti meg itt maradtok, jó lesz nektek. Nem, Tutu, menekülj, Tutu! Elmegy kapálni. Nem, rád megy, bazd meg! Meghalt Csinó, én még nem látok! Sötét van, hol vagytok? Csinó meghalt, egyedül vagyok a sötétben! Itt van! Igen, megvan! Egy takott kecinő! Van majd 60! Itt van kettős fasz! Boltája van, bazd meg a fasz! Bolta van a kezében! Bolta van a kezében, bazd meg! Paul Johnson! Give us a sign. Paul Johnson.
10-es keci!
Mi 10-es? Bízlak, meg fogtok halni. Van bent valaki?
Na, sziasztok, hello újra, és akkor ismét itt egy kis horror. Na, sziasztok, hello, múlt héten elkezdtük, most folytatjuk. Cvetek érte, most ez annyit kell tudni, hogy hát ez teljesen, igen, na szóval mehet is, hello Zsoca. Jó, megpróbáljuk úgy, hogy látszódjon. Azt nem tudom, miért 20 FPS. Miért 20 FPS? És mi nem látszódik? Az is egy kérdés. Próbálok képet csinálni. Sikerül. Múltkor sikerült. Hopp! Most már csak azt kéne tudni, hogy a kamera miért ennyi. Hogy miért 1 FPS. Most jónak tűnik minden? Itt mentett? Itt mentettem el? Nagyon fura. Na mindegy, mehet. De nagyon fura. Állít az Lodi, mert van neki. Na mi volt? Odaadtuk a gyereknek a kis újságot, de itt nem mentünk el máshova, kivéve... Azért van, hogy ezt Slate itt lenne, mert ő tudna legalább segíteni. És hogyan van. Na mindegy, körül kell itt nézni mindenhol. Na ez kicsoda.
There he is, my future son-in-law. And how's he doing today? What brings him to the Pottstown
Ja,
household?
nem kell, egyelőre nem kell segíteni, csak hogyha véletlen olyan van.
What a card.
Would I kid about something like that? Why won't you believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Your mother just telephoned us about your latest shenanigans. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potsdam?
Sure did, Mr. Potsdam. You little rascal.
Imagination's a
little
swell
rascal.
thing to have, in small amounts. Man needs to keep his feet on the ground, especially if he's getting married.
Shenanigans.
Is your father feeling better? Is he going back to the slaughterhouse anytime soon? I can't imagine a better job than working in a slaughterhouse. Bite your tongue with that serpent's tooth. Your dad's slaughterhouse is the most successful business in Harvest. You'll love it there. Oh, sure. Cutting animals open may not be much fun. Reaching into their bodies and yanking
Klassiker,
out the bloody
klassiker.
guts, intestines dangling and slapping against you, the smell of death and shit in your nostrils all the time. Well, those are all definite cons. But which are done? The guts have been washed into the gutters. What do you want?
Oh, kurva anyját.
Meat. Rows and rows of scrumptious red meat.
Erre lejjebb veszem. Még lejjebb.
I haven't seen my father. He's locked in a room.
He's not going to die, is he?
Like I said, I don't know. That woman, Mom, tends to him herself.
Well, next time you see him, be sure to tell him that I said hello. And tell him that I'm praying for his speedy recovery. And also, would you remind him about the meat? Especially about the meat.
Yeah, fine.
A hús
If I
miatt.
see him.
You should be more concerned. If he dies, then who's going to take over the slaughterhouse? Who's going to tend to the meat? I guess as his son, you'd take over, right? Meat is the foundation of any decent society. Everyone needs at least 3 servings of red meat a day. And anyone who says otherwise is a commie. And once you're married to Stephanie, I'll be part of the family too. And your father will give me all the meat I want. Kind of makes up for not getting into the lodge.
Why are you so anxious to get into the lodge?
There's wonders inside. I've heard there's more meat in there than they know what to do with. Now that you're of age, Steve, you might go down to the post office and fill out a lodge application. They're always looking for new blood.
Már voltam, nem? Vagy ez nem az?
Mrs. Potsdam grounded Stephanie, so you'd better go ask her permission before you go upstairs. Sorry, Steve. The last thing I want to do is upset you and your father before the wedding. Not with the meat at stake. You will remind your dad about the meat. Won't you?
Na, Mrs. Potsdam.
Hello, Steve. Have you flossed today? Honestly, you men can insult a woman without even knowing you've done it. What a horrible thing to say.
You're both standing around baking cookies. Same kind of dress. Same pearls. So bizarre.
There's nothing bizarre about baking cookies. The Harvest Charity Bake Sale is Friday, you know, and by gosh, Mrs. Marvin Potsdam Jr. can be counted on to do her share.
This charity bake sale. What is it supposed to benefit?
Oh, I just like talking about gruesome subjects. When you get right
This is
down
Hong
to
Kong.
it, all charity is pretty ugly, isn't it?
I don't follow.
Ask Mr. Moynihan. He's organized this event. In conjunction with the lodge, naturally. Mr. Moynihan runs the Wayward Hotel and the Shady Oaks Funeral Parlor. It's rumored he has connections with the lodge, but the order keeps that kind of thing secret. So Mr. Potsdam has tried to get him to put in a good word for his lodge application, but so far... You mustn't be too hard on Mr. Potsdam, Steve. He's a disappointed man. No matter how
Azt
many
ez bezsimenjen
lodge
neki.
admission forms he fills out, they keep turning him down. He has a new application in, though, so keep your fingers crossed. If he joins the lodge, you and Stephanie can have your wedding in the chapel
Régen
of
Ferinc,
love.
de régen Ferinc akkor ez volt a
Listen
Twitchnek a
over
teteje, meg a
at
kopipaszták. Ma már kopipaszta, az meg
Tell me
ki
about this
kopipasztáljuk.
wedding.
Amint amúgy
Well, it's set
jó,
for
néha
3
van
weeks.
olyan, hogy bemásolja mindenki
We're holding
ugyanazt,
it
amit
over at
valaki írt,
Shady
és
Oaks,
akkor az a
Mr.
kopipaszta
Moynihan's funeral
kb.
parlor.
Régen, amikor ki tudod kitálni jobb kopipasztát, amit többen másolnak vissza.
But there's nowhere else to hold it. Thanks to Mr. Potsdam.
Meg az ASCII kódos izék, akármik. Már nem pont a faszra gondolok, de érted.
Mr. Moynihan runs the Wayward Hotel and the Shady Oaks Funeral Parlor. It's rumored he has connections with the lodge, but the order
Szia, Camilo.
keeps that kind of thing secret.
What can you tell me?
Just that they're exclusive and secretive. If you're curious, you ought to pick up a lodge application at the post office and take it over to the Sergeant-at-Arms. Isn't that a thought? Forget Mr. Potsdam. If you became a member of the order, we could hold the... Give my regards to you.
Elmentem, azért nem tudom. Hogy jövök innen vissza? Ja. Hol nem mehetek föl?
Sorry. You'll have to ask Mrs.
De nem tudom megkérdezni, hát szarik rá, nem volt ilyen kérdés.
Hello, dear. She's upstairs. Go right on up.
Akkor mégis.
Just remember, she... Give my...
Miért van olyan, mint hogy rotyogna a fos? Aspirin. Köhögés ellen gyógyszer, tampon. És ez valami alólam kenőcs. Ja, és mi volt még nálam? Ja, újság, $1, meg egy toll. Hát nem tudom, nem terveztem, de akkor lehet. Hoppá. Csak először még körülnézek. Jó. Én nem játszottam még egyáltalán, szóval szerintem nincs, vagy nem tudom, volt benne Humble Bundyba, vagy valamibe benne volt az.
Who are you?
Haven't you heard? We're getting married.
So, you're the one. Steve, isn't it?
You mean you don't know me?
I mean, I don't
They're
know
constantly
anyone. I don't remember anything. How many times do I have to say it?
Just one, Stephanie, because I can't remember a damn thing either.
Really? Oh God, I thought it was just me.
You're not alone. Can you tell me what's going on here?
Those people downstairs have locked me in my room. They say I'm grounded until the wedding. Maybe my amnesia isn't total after all. You're familiar to me. Like we've met before. In another life.
Maybe we really do live here.
Hát úgy nem
Maybe we were
horror vagy
together,
te gondolod.
and the same
But
thing
don't
happened to
tell
both
you
of us. An accident. Something.
Neither of us has bumps on our heads, if that's what you're getting at.
Have you been able to remember anything else? Anything at all?
Well, I have had these recurring dreams. Just fragments, really. Strange, abstract images. Liquid, chrome.
Probably just a dream.
Well, have you thought about how to escape Harvest?
Escape?
Harvest is a prison, Steve. Don't forget that. Of course I'm right. Everything in Harvest seems to revolve around this damned lodge. This Order of the Harvest Moon. They're responsible for this insane bake sale that's coming and for the Harvest
Nem lehet
blood
érzeni
drive,
amúgy se
too.
Ferinc, mert teljesen kretén.
People talk about the lodge, it's always in this hushed, reverent tone. Mom keeps telling me that women can't join, but she keeps pressuring me to get you to join.
She's not the only one who wants me to sign on with the lodge.
That's probably the worst thing you could do.
You think the lodge is some kind of trap?
I think all of Harvest is a trap.
If that's true, maybe joining the lodge is the way out.
Look, why not explore the town a little? I can't get out of here, but if I could, that's what I'd do. Maybe you can figure out what's happening here without going anywhere near the lodge.
You're really afraid of the lodge, aren't you?
I look at that building, all lit up at night, and I get scared.
I mean, look at the damn thing. Seem like a harmless bunch of Masons to you?
Hát szerintem vágja a sztorit, gondolom. Ezt
Maybe
mondtam
my
neki?
amnesia isn't total after all.
Maybe we really do live here. Maybe we were together, and the same thing happened to both of us. An accident. Something.
Neither of us has bumps on our heads, if that's what you're getting at.
Have you been able to remember anything else? Anything at all?
Well, I have had these recurring dreams. Just fragments, really. Strange.
Probably just a dream.
Well, have you thought about how to come back and visit me?
Jó. A másokkor itt nincs, nem?
If it
Itt voltunk, nem? Ez volt a méhes.
Hello, Steve.
Mr.
How's the
Johnson.
husband to be?
Other than having no memory, I guess I'm all right.
All right. You should be ecstatic, considering what you're getting into, if you haven't gotten into it already. Speaking of which, I heard Stephanie was grounded. Her daddy's worried about getting his meat. So if I were him, I'd be more concerned about...
Right. And you are...
You always were a kidder, Steve. I'm Mr. Johnson, remember? Glad you stopped by.
Na re.
Just got finished waxing the tucker. I could use a little relaxation. But since Edna's not here, I might as well talk to you. Heck of an automobile, isn't she? Damn shame I have to sit out here and watch over her all the time. But if I didn't, those stupid kids might scratch her up playing ball. Don't see why not, but don't touch her. I'm mighty particular about my tucker. I had the garage remodeled like a fortress, so I could lock her up at night and get some sleep.
I'm sure she's safe enough inside.
A few months back, someone broke into my house, trying to get into the garage. I had to gripe like hell before the sheriff agreed to start the evening patrols and instigate the curfew. Speaking of Stephanie, I still haven't gotten an invitation to the wedding yet.
I don't have anything.
That's okay. Personally, I'd prefer a pass to the
Jó, de
honeymoon.
csiró. Csak nehogy álmodó vigyenek
I
el.
could use the back seat of my tucker for the maiden voyage. It's plenty big. Believe you me. I'd drive you around. And I wouldn't look in the back seat. I guarantee it. Though if you'd like to come up front and take the wheel a while, I wouldn't say nay. Heck of an
Igen, csiró.
automobile,
Fisting
isn't
is $300.
Damn shame I have to sit out here and watch over her all the time. Don't...
De ezt már beszéltük.
Edna Fitzpatrick is one of the snootiest women in town. I declare there isn't a woman in Harvest that turned me away. If I was interested, that is. Just because she owns DNAs, she's got all these highfalutin ideas about independence. And her with a little girl to raise. That child needs a father. And Edna, well, she needs a good, hard penis.
What makes you so sure she needs...
You saying Edna's getting it from someone else? Like maybe that damn Sheriff Dwayne? He's over at DNA's diner every day from noon to 1, eating his damn
Amit az
good
UFO-k
pie.
visznek neked,
You know, I
csiró.
got a feeling he'd like Edna for dessert. Sure, it's the only diner in town, but I'm sure he's got more on his mind. I'll admit DNA's diner does good business, but money isn't everything to a woman.
De ezt már beszéltünk,
Speaking
nem?
of Stephanie,
Yeah.
that's a
Bye.
bye now.
Akkor ez itt ennyi? Úgy tűnik. Mentés. Ez fontos elvileg ezeknél a régebbi dolgoknál. Másik. Aha. Most nézzek rá, vagy mikor? Ja. Jó, csak hogy most mennyire fontos.
I was only gonna borrow it.
Indeed. And have you anything I could hold as security?
Security.
I'm afraid that's not good enough. I need that glue for my work. You must present me with something significant if you'd have me part with it.
Dolgozik az úriember. Nem tűnt fel.
Stephen?
Who are you?
I am Daniel Moynihan, mortician and proprietor of the Wayward Hotel.
Most people ask me why I don't remember their names.
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve.
You always were a
Besides, as one
kidder.
who deals with the dead, I try not to involve myself in the affairs of the living. Your loss of memory is of no concern to me, true or false. Ironic, considering my recent involvement in a charity event.
What are you talking about?
My complaints were central to the scheduling of the upcoming Harvest Bake Sale. I'm gratified the Order of the Harvest Moon got involved. The proceeds will certainly help cover my losses. As always, the Order of the Harvest Moon has taken the lead in addressing our societal ills. Through their sponsorship of the blood drive and the bake sale, the lodge ensures that all our needs are met.
Needs. Such as...
Pardon me, there are corpses to prepare. And my losses have been substantial of late. If you're sincerely interested in the Order...
Why should I be interested, Mr.
Of all the spots in Harvest, the lodge is the most prominent, literally and figuratively. It is the ambition of everyone.
What kind of...
If I knew, I'd be a member. I have the feeling you have what it takes to join the Order, Stephen. We all believe that. Whether or not you live... This bake sale is a joint effort of the Harvest PTA and the Order of the Harvest Moon. The proceeds will be used to set up a fund for transients. In other words, bums and societal rejects without families who wander into Harvest.
Then the Order is setting up shelters for the homeless?
Not shelters. Graves. You see a great number of these hobos die while passing through. Don't ask me why, it's what those people do. Use your common sense, Stephen, memory or no. It seems that, like some elephant's graveyard, people of low station come to Harvest to die. God knows, by putting these people up at the Wayward Hotel, I do more than my fair share. So why must I pay for the coffins and burial materials as well? My losses to the dead are substantial. Yes, I prepare them. I use this astro glue to close my autopsy incision rather than sutures. It's much faster, more efficient. Of course, it only holds for a short while, but once they're in the ground, who cares if they split open? They will anyway. The pressure of the gases and the worms pressing outward, rupturing the cavity open.
A cold-blooded...
But what of my losses? Do you realize if it weren't for the efforts of the Order of the Harvest Moon, the bake sale and so forth, even with the Wayward Hotel, I'd be hard-pressed to stay in business. As owner of the only I really don't recall. We get so many low-life dregs passing through here, I can't...
Lehet tudni. És mi akkor a normálisabb?
As I said, sliced open on a mortician's slab, every corpse looks the same. Red and juicy. You sound like you're launching some sort of investigation, Stephen. That would be most unwise.
Darker, hát nem lesz még vagy egy
I'd
hónapig,
say
mert
it's been
nincs.
a pleasure.
Vagy nem tudom.
You can't have...
I was only...
Indeed.
Security.
I'm a...
Nem tudom, hogy... Lehet tudni, hogy Hát ezért is fontos a mentés is, nyilván. Akkor még egyszer. Tehát ezeket...
Stephen.
Who are you?
Most people... Well, you're...
What do you...
My... Yes,
Hogy így beszél vele.
Not sure.
Nem tudom, mennyire számít.
Of all... What? If I... It... But what? You... I'd say... You... I'm a... young man. I'd say... Why should I care?
Mit tudom én, cseréld el a másikra.
Okay. Well, that didn't work.
Why should I care?
Nem tudom. Tampon esetleg?
Why should I...
Az se kell neki. Gyógyszer?
Why should I care?
Nem, az se kell neki. Aspirin?
Why should I...
Jó, akkor basz meg. Más nem volt itt. Itt volt meg a temető. Még egy mentés. Tudni most miért? Ja, mert most rányomtam oda. Na mindegy akkor. Secret shot. De most egy kör... Nem is tudunk visszamenni körben, vissza kell menni teljesen. Jó. Mi van még itt? Fire Station.
Please excuse the mess. They've done wonders with the upstairs bedroom, but this garage defies color coordination.
Ennyi?
Sorry?
Don't bother me, I'm sketching. Stop! Hello, Steve. Welcome to the house of... Oh, cut it out, Spots, honestly. Once he gets barking, a good piece of meat is the only way to shut him up. There you go, Spot. So, Steve, bet you don't remember me. Heard about that short in the old wiring. I'm Fire Marshal Sparky, head of your fire department. Don't be silly. Everyone thinks that amnesia kick is a scream. Well, you always were a kidder.
You always were a kidder, Steve.
It's my job to keep abreast of developments in the community, to better serve you, the public. I'm sure you'll be thrilled when you learn of the many civic improvements we have planned for your fire department.
Such as...
Well, don't tell any of the others, but I've secured a bolt of the most divine mauve material. I've hidden it because, well, if any of these Marys got a hold of it, it'd be gone in a jiffy. So I'd rather keep it hush-hush. I'm going to make new drapes for the firehouse, and if I have any left, cross your fingers, I'm going to make everyone matching mauve pillow cozies.
Those are civic improvements.
Don't be such a party pooper, Steve. We're talking about our... Besides, we haven't had a fire in Harvest since the newspaper building burned down. Though I'll admit that the Wasp Woman's place is one big accident waiting to happen. Isn't that right, Spots? Spots is a dandy watchdog, but like the rest of us, he has one awful none of us can resist a nice cut of meat. Some people think all we do is sit around, fetching examples of manhood for our own amusement. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why, just the other day we cited Tetsuo Crumb for fire code violations. All the dried out paper wasp nests clustered around our wooden house, why, it's a chemlog just waiting for the right faggot. Believe me, none of us wants to see another fiasco like this. A dreadful affair. You wouldn't think that a brick and steel building with a sprinkler system could go up that quickly. Oh, please. Dwayne was glad enough to see the thing go up, and so was McKnight. If you could get into that safe in his wall... Forget it. Look, Steve, as far as I know, the fire was an accident. Now don't you go moving. Bye-bye.
I don't converse on the job, Steve. I don't converse on the job.
Jó, egyelőre, nem tudom. Tényleg leégett. Ilyen rajzszínfúrás lövést még hallatszott a háttérben.
That's the evidence room. Where we store... That's the Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Dwayne, and this here is Loomis.
Pleasure, I reckon.
Then, we haven't met before?
Of course we have. But I heard about your alleged amnesia, and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank, and not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding. Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to marry the prettiest little thing in Harvest. I think you and Stephanie are perfect for each other.
Disappointment?
Mr. Potsdam wants to hold the wedding in the lodge, but he'll never get in. Like all the rest, he's always hanging around the post office the first day of the month, waiting for boys. And there's always a long line, never enough applications to go around, and even if you do get an application, chances are you're right out of luck. Fewer called to the order and even less accepted. And Potsdam, well, I don't mind telling you, I'd never get anything done if not for the lodge's efforts to join the Order of the Harvest Moon. Like I said, unless you get an application on the first day of the month, you're generally out of luck. Stop by the post office and talk to Postmaster Boyle. You never know.
Öt mondta, hogy nincs, nem?
Amnesia or no, you can't Mr. There's crime-wise, nothing much has happened in Harvest since the newspaper fire. Oh, sure. Every week or so, we get the odd transient dropping dead. But other than that, it gets pretty slow around here. Now, that's a place you don't want to wind up, boy. We've got a 3 strikes and you're out rule here in Harvest. You get arrested the 3rd time, you never get out of jail alive. So don't go commit. Why do you...
I'm telling you the truth. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you've always been a kidder.
You've always been a kidder.
Yeah, so everybody keeps telling me.
Boy, you need to stop all this funning and get serious. You've got a wedding coming up soon. Heck, you should be stop on
anything. Help yourself. Speaking of which, you're real lucky to be marrying Stephanie. She don't look like a good woman. I just hope she don't turn out like Mrs. Loomis, or mercy forbid Mrs. Phelps. Good women can be awful hard on a man. Why, you sure ought to appreciate what a man's got to do sometimes in a parked car, or a waist-high knothole in a tree, or jail cell at noon. Matter of fact, Mrs. Phelps got no reason not to sell you some of them French postcard girly picture books. If you can get any, it's the... Of course, I don't necessarily mean French postcards. That's just what we called them in my day. Any kind of girly picture book. Mrs. Phelps down at the general store. But she won't sell me none on account of she knows my wife, Mrs. Loomis. Dad, go. Get it?
Ja, nekik akkor kell valami újság majd. Hát itt mi van? Az indiánok állnak sorban.
Stay tuned, buckaroos. There's more to come on Rain. So don't go away. And what's your name?
Steve.
Steve's a swell name. My dog's name is Steve. Would you like my autograph, Steve?
Oh, I like to own... No... Ja, nem.
Here you go, then.
Persze, jó van.
Violence? What about it? What red-blooded American doesn't? Nothing like an exploding head to get the blood pumping. Literally, that is.
Even so, do you think society pays a heavy
De ezt
price
nézte
for the
a
violence
kisücség,
in the
nem?
Of course they pay a heavy price. Just look at the net profits. They'll line up around the block to see a good slaughter. Now, excuse me, we're going back on the air. Can't talk. Happy trails, buckaroo.
Hey, Sport. This is a private
Okay,
office.
Sport.
Yeah, I know, Mr.
McKnight. I own and operate this station. Have you brought me some news for tonight's broadcast, or...
I've lost my memory. That's news.
The hell it is! You always were a kidder, Steve.
Jó, a kidder, Steve.
Any real news to tell me?
Actually, I was just wanting to know more about the TV station.
Hey, WHAR is the only television station in Harvest. Since the old Sentinel went under, what with the newspaper building burning down and all, we're golden. Nobody competes with us, Sport. Partners. I run the whole show solo, pal. Don't hurry back. Don't hurry.
Micsoda?
Steve, good of you to drop by, big guy. Haven't seen you since graduation. A lot of changes, I hear.
You could say that.
Good, good. That's a nice part of my job. Turning fine young men and women out into the world, and then watching them prosper. Of course, I was able to reach more people at the old Sentinel, God bless her. But then again, I never got to see the results of my work up close before.
Who are you?
You know very well I'm Mr. Harold, principal of Gain Memorial. Steve, I've heard about this amnesia nonsense. I had hoped you'd be in the lodge by now, fine young fellow like yourself. But now, I think maybe you need a little more quality time.
Szia Kabino.
Why do you keep calling me
fényezést,
big
jó pihenést,
A
szia,
sign of
köszi, hogy itt
respect,
voltál.
lad. As principal, my station is higher than yours now, but you never know what the future holds, so you should always hedge your bets and pay tribute to your inferiors. You never know who will come to power, or who, even now, wields it behind the scenes. For all I know, you might already be a member of the Order, with access to the Lodge. If that were the case, you'd be my superior, and I'd be all that much better off having shown you respect and spent some quality time with you. Surely mine is the most important position in Harvest. The ability to mold young minds. That's power. You might think Sheriff Dwayne's the most important man here, big guy. But he only deals with my failures. When I do my job right, the sheriff never sees a thing.
Why do you keep calling me big guy?
A sign of respect, lad. As principal, my station is higher than yours now, but you never know what the future holds. And pay tribute to your inferiors. You never know who will come to power, or who, even now, wields it behind the scenes. For all I know, if that were the case, you'd be my superior, and I'd be all that much better off having shown you respect and spent some... Surely mine is the most important position in Harvest. The ability to mold young minds. That's power. You might think Sheriff Dwayne's the most important man here, big guy.
Why do you...
And if...
Többit is beszéltük ma vele?
What do you mean?
Some, like Miss Whaley, favor stern discipline. Corporal, myself, I temper. Quality time can be such a warm, sharing experience. After just a few sessions, you'd stop this amnesia nonsense. You turned out pretty good.
It's not...
Well, you always were a kidder.
Igen, jó van.
Drop in again?
Ez itt most nagyon jó.
My goodness, class, this is Stephen. He used to be a student here at Gein Memorial. They're reticent. The educator's greatest problem today is the apathy.
What's wrong with their heads?
I can tell you in one word, Stephen. Discipline. Thank goodness you weren't a sulky bear. You were...
Then...
Not as such. So many pupils, Stephen. They come and they go. But I can always spot those who were nice boys. You can tell from the forehead. The lobes, right? I'm glad you stopped by, Stephen. Would you care to say a few words to the class about civic responsibility?
Szia, te még jó
Not
Pete.
really. I was just passing through.
Oh, but you must, Stephen. A positive role model might be just the thing to inspire the... Stephen, have you any questions for me? Ask a... We don't practice corporal punishment here. I've never believed in that old adage, spare the rod and spoil... That bridges the generation gap quite nicely. Oh dear, Colonel Monroe is conducting another air raid drill. Everyone into the hallway.
If an A-bomb hits, what good is it gonna do to duck and cover?
Lehet tudni. Kapuf.
My stars, that was exciting.
Can you tell me anything about...
Harvest was founded by the Order of the Harvest Moon about 100 years ago.
For what purpose?
Én ezt kapja,
I'm sure
akiket
you'd have
is
to
kedik.
ask them. You'll find the members of the Order at the lodge.
This lodge.
The building itself, like Harvest, was constructed with a specific purpose in mind. That noble intent is known only to those within the Order. You're at about the right age to join them, Steve. Stop.
Ez itt ennyi, nem? Ez itt ennyi. Hogy ők innen el. Mi? Jó. Nyugi, megvan. Na ez a Slaughterhouse, nem?
Steve, how's your father? Is he better?
About the same, I guess.
He's been away from work for weeks, and when I call your house, your mother won't let me talk to him.
I haven't seen him either.
This is a fine kettle of fish, I must say, though I am glad to see you taking an interest in the business in your dad's absence.
Let's get down to
Steve, I didn't
business.
believe that amnesia hokum. Now you're saying you don't remember your pal.
You're always were a kidder, Steve.
Look, I'm not kidding.
Well, you always were such a kidder, Steve.
Funny how that's beginning to sound like a stock answer. Like it was...
You sure are acting like a kidder, son. With your dad ill, you're gonna need to start behaving like an adult. Especially if you're gonna take over the family business. You may come to realize that this business is not for everybody. Just ask your poor, ill, and a strong stomach. A lot of times, when I'm finished scrubbing up and digging the bits of intestine out from my fingernails, but red meat is one of the principal food groups, and you've got to have it. So when you can do this all day and help yourself to a juicy red steak afterwards, then by golly, you can call yourself a butcher. Of course, amnesia would certainly help that, wouldn't it?
Come to think of it, I don't see any cattle around here. We're...
Does it matter? The end product is all the customer cares about, Steve. Only the juiciest cuts. Once you take over, you'll realize the... If we didn't, would the lodge use us to cater their affairs? Your father's very particular about the profit, Steve. No freebies for anyone. But seeing how you're his son, if you'll bring written permission from your father...
Jó, ad húst, hogyha magunk között.
What exactly is wrong with your dad?
I don't know. I can't get in to see him.
There are certain tricks of the trade, Steve. Once your dad gets better and you start working in here cutting up the meat, you'll be privy to them. There's always cheaper, better ways. Don't be such a stranger. Can't. Don't be.
Na, itt, hát most itt jól nem nyírnánk ki magunkat, hehe.
Oh!
They tell me...
All right. This Section 21. Keep your...
That make...
So you're the amnesiac, huh? Just another draft-dodging ploy the way I see it. But at least you're not an alien. You see their ships are...
Who are you?
Colonel Buster Monroe, commander
Hát
of the
legutóbb
Harvest nuclear
fölrobbantottuk az egész
missile
bolygót és fejbe lőtt
installation,
minket a
keeping
katona.
America safe from those who would dye our flag red, white, and pink.
These are nuclear missiles?
Goddamn right they are. Every one of them ready to rain death on the Ruskies. All I gotta do is hit the button and blammo! The price of vodka goes through the roof. Along with the vodka.
Well, I suppose you have, you know, safeguards against accident?
Safeguards? Don't be such a weak sister. There are no safeguards.
Then you have sole control.
That's right. Been in charge. And I got my lower torso shot off in the war.
Yeah.
Those pantywaists in Washington wanted to stick me behind a desk. To hell with that. They owed me. I left my legs in Dusseldorf. They owed me. Of course, they felt that after the trauma of having to crawl from... That's why they gave me this nice cushy job. And put me in...
Yeah.
Why are you asking about...
I'm just a little nervous about it. I mean, suppose an accident happens.
Don't get your panties in a bunch, mister.
The button is perfectly safe.
I keep it on my person all the time. No commie bastard is getting his mitts on this button. No siree, Bob. No one initiates a nuclear holocaust in Harvest except me. Now, doesn't that make you feel better? Harvest is a fine town, steeped in traditional American values. But that lodge, well, it makes me suspicious, don't mind saying it. They've got their fingers into everything around here. Like a certain red commie.
Elmentettük, de... Ó, mindegy.
Read me wrong, mister. I think you should join the lodge, infiltrate it, and report back on any red sympathizers. Your report could affect my decision on what I've got to do. Frankly, all these questions are making me a little suspicious of you. Can you give me any reason why I shouldn't? Right, huh? Your average commie bastard is always only too ready to hide behind the Constitution. Real Americans waive their rights for the common good. Would you? You talk a good game, mister. But so does your average commie bastard. The Kremlin teaches its agents to talk their way out of a scrape. What do you think about that, son? should have watched more TV and read less Dostoevsky if you wanted to pass for an American, comrade.
És akkor ez volt a Harvester, na szevasztok!
Oh, who goes there?
They tell me my name is Steve.
All right.
That...
So you're...
Who are you?
Colonel Bust.
These are...
Goddamn.
Well,
Say...
Then...
That's...
Jó.
Those pen... That's what...
Itt mindig mit mondom neki, nem?
Aside... Hell... Lucky. Harvest... That might work out for the best, mister. I think you should join the lodge, infiltrate it, and report back on it. Your report could affect... Frankly, all these questions... Can you give me... I appreciate your honesty, comrade.
Aztán akkor végig jót mondtam, amúgy csak a végén adottam el.
Oh!
Nagy geci az öreg, nagy geci.
God.
Well... That...
When I... Those... That's... The funny... Have... I wanted to get back into the thick of the action and out of this desk. I did this last night. What do you think? Thank you, son. You're a... Bolt! It's just... What do you want? Did the line... That's good. Someone has to keep them in check. I'm glad you stopped by again.
Azért azt hittem, hogy akkor...
I want you to infiltrate those firemen, mister. There's a lot of art going on over there.
Azt hittem, hogy mindegyiknél ugyanaz a végkémetet, de nem, ez teljesen más.
And don't come back unless you've got information for me. Remember?
Az jó, és így nem haltunk meg.
Sorry?
Most nem tudom, mit lehetne.
Bye-bye.
Jó, mindegy, meg elmegyünk a helyzébe.
Howdy, Steve.
Yeah. Howdy back, Mr...
It's swell, Steve. Don't you pull my old leg now. Change your mind about that aluminum siding?
What are you talking about?
I really think we should talk your father into buying some. He can afford it. And I can't stress enough the value of some really fine aluminum siding. Keeps it warm in the summer, cool in the winter, and it keeps out the sheep. Pastorelli ought to look into some, but I can't get him to understand a word I say. Pastorelli's a rube from way back. Ask Clem Parsons how he followed up with the alarm system in here. I'm a plumber. I could fix it for him, but he just won't listen. Well, I seen the end coming for the aluminum siding game, so I took a mail course and learned how to be a plumber. Now, there's a business that never lets up. You'd be surprised. Nice to think
ennek lenne köze a WC-nél a másik üzénél, Stefanéknál?
You say them aliens I was telling you about?
How come I never seen none of them?
Them aliens is wily, Pete. You don't cross the intergalactic void. You know what Pastorelli did? Yesterday, he gets an alarm system to protect his pole. Only he don't know how to rig it, so now it's all awry.
Érdekes.
Pastorelli's a funny sort. Foreigner, don't you know? He cuts hair pretty good, but he don't know spit about nothing else. You just asked him to hook up an alarm system. Pastorelli shelled out for an alarm system, all right, but he's too cheap to hire an electrician to hook her up. Dang idiot cross-wired it through the fire sprinkler, so now when the alarm goes off, it sets the sprinkler spraying. Tarnation! Aliens looking for intelligent life ought to stay away from this shop, sure enough. Well, son, the ways of you, son, after nailing an alien. What, you think you can get one of those at a swap meet? Line your blind with lead to fool their sensing machines. Lay real quiet and wait. Preferably in the woods around the nuclear base. Oh, they love messing around out there.
Why not wait outside your field, Clem? Wait for 'em to come a-carving.
Oh, they do their crop doodles with zap guns, you darn fool. Don't you know nothing? Besides, ain't no place to put the blind. Now, you listen to Clem Parsons if you want to tag an unearthly beast. They cross the void, wondering what lies.
Damn.
Anytime.
Jó. Amúgy postán már voltunk, de azért most eljövök még egyszer. Úgy nem lesz ez semmi.
Sorry, son.
Ja.
Next time you
Ez kéne, nem?
Can I help? This is Phelps Jr.
I'm fuzzy.
Well, they say a sharp blow to the head is a good...
You're always a killer,
Care to buy
Steve.
anything today? Just...
Nem, azt mondtam olyan. Mit mondott? Nem azt mondta, hogy...
Hello, care to... Just point to whatever you want. I'm a little hard of hearing.
De hogy mutassak rá akkor?
Okay, okay.
Ja, ezt Faternak kell. Szóval átadni az öcsémnek.
A girly magazine? Why, Steve, I'm surprised at you. I'd expect that sort of thing from Deputy Loomis, but never from you. He's always coming in here oogling the girly magazines behind my counter. Darned if I'd sell him one, though. I know his wife for...
Well, will you sell me one?
I certainly will, Steve. That kind of interest is healthy for a young fellow.
Ezek most odaadta. Jó. Hoppá, ezt kicsit
Good.
duplán kattintottam. De odaadta, nem adta oda?
Big whoops. Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part. Good. Big what, Steve?
Mivel lőjem le?
I told you I'm busy, Steve. Don't forget to... I told you I'm busy, Steve. Why don't you talk to Hank or go next door and visit Stephanie or go get an That's right, a job. Your father has everything set up at the meat plant. After your honeymoon with Stephanie...
Work it.
That
sounds just a fact. Don't forget. I told. That's right. He's in the other room. He decided to sleep in today. Now.
Most akkor nem tudom.
Never put off to.
But.
That's why.
And then.
To replace.
Why?
Well,
But.
Of course not.
Ezeket már beszéltem vele.
It'll have.
Kind of.
You have. You will.
Tell me more.
As I told you.
Why is that?
It's not.
Ezeket beszéltem már vele.
Don't forget.
Hát akkor... Nem tudom. Ez biztos oda tudjuk neki adni.
Kiddo.
No.
Oh, hey.
Hát de hoztam amúgy.
In a time.
Ebbe azt akarta, ebben nézzünk bele, de ebben nem engedi.
Oh. Oh. Bad George. Oh, bad Jiminy. Oh. Oh, thank you, Steve. Excuse me, kid.
Hát ezt itt megfújtuk a dolgokat. Na? Hát ezt nem lehet elolvasni, bezd meg. Sheriff, if you think I'm going to keep...
Well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work.
Van-e itt még bármi más? Az a kérdés. Mondja, hogy ez egy kamera, meg egy véres cipő. Mit vettem még föl? Checkbook. Sheriff checkbook.
Hello, Steve. Where's Loomis?
You'll be coming around the mountain if you come. Oh, that's good.
Loomis, damn you!
Wait, no. You pervert! No! No!
Straining up the mattress again! Folding up the towels! Charming snake!
No!
Hát ebben nem tudom, minek kell kiderülnie, hogy mi ez lehet ez jó.
Okay.
Hopp, ez mi? Elszkanna, de ezek, és akkor... Ezért próbálok össze-vissza kattingatni, mert olyan kicsinálom a kép. Van itt még valami észlete? A snack. Majd járjuk itt. Szia, Geta. Szerintem nincs több. Szerintem a fiókból mindent kivettünk. Na jó, akkor jó. Hát jó, csak most kamerával lefényképezni a izéket? Nem tudom. Ha meg csomó dolog, de ez gőzöm sincs.
Damn it. Damn it. Well that didn't work. Okay. Oh, well, that didn't work.
Már honnan? Innen? Jaha. De mi valahol nem voltam, nem mentem el valahova, vagy mit? Ja, hoppá, tényleg.
Hello there, Steve. Here for lunch?
No, just here looking around, though I'm not entirely sure where here is.
Oh, I forgot. You're playing your little amnesia prank. Well, boy, this is DNA's
Little
diner.
amnesia prank.
Isn't that right, Edna?
Don't listen to Sheriff Dwayne. This is Edna's diner. But ever since the E burned out on the sign, they've been giving me a hard time.
Now, don't be like that, Edna. It's a great place to eat, which is good, since it's the only place to eat in Harvest. I understand you witnessed Miss Whaley's dispensing a little discipline at the school, and she thinks you may be feeling a mite bent about it. That's always the wisest course, boy. Sticking your nose where it doesn't belong can get you in a world of trouble, especially if you're a gynecologist. Heck, there isn't a psychiatrist around who'd disagree about what a calming influence a dent in the head can be. You can't argue with science, Steve. It's bigger than all of us. Stop on.
Hi, what
Karen,
are you doing?
playing. My mom is working, so I gotta stay out of her hair.
Not now.
Okay, bye.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing sneaking up on me like that? God, for a second I thought you were Mr. Johnson. Sure. And my name's Edna Fitzpatrick.
Then you believe me.
Well, you always were a
You
kidder,
always were a
Steve.
kidder, Steve.
I guess I've changed. I'm not.
Now, Steve, faking amnesia won't help. If you don't want to marry Stephanie, then don't. But don't play sick, for heaven's sake. I'd expect that from Karen, not an 18-year-old. Mr. Johnson has a liking for me. I'd call it a crush, but that's too innocent a word. He's never gotten over being rejected by the lodge, and there's something unwholesome in the way he looks at me. I'm always glad when the sheriff comes in every day. The lodge is the repository of all wisdom. You should join.
Why? For God's sake, what is it?
The wheat ripens and waits not for the scythe. The farmer who waits too long, it were better that he used the scythe to rip his own stomach out than to stay his scythe when the wheat ripens. The harvest moon wanes and then comes winter. An empty belly, the body sun's belly, gurgling within or bloody on the ground. What does it benefit a man if he gains his soul and loses the world? You hunger. Feed yourself.
Edna?
Steve.
Hát ezt nem. Már nem is értem.
Were we talking about Boyle?
You seem strange there for...
I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of... You've met Karen. Other than the diner, she's all I have. Stop by.
Hopp. Ennyi? Van itt még más? Ez is jó. Driver. Az újságosnál. Milyen újságosnál? Ennél? Hát pedig... Ja, annak akartam, hogy kéne lennie valaminek, nem csak időnek, de... Hát nagyon egerésztem, de nem. Nagyon egerésztem, de nem. Nem. Mármint nem azt mondtam, tehát nem vagy segítesz amúgy tehát ezt próbáltam fölvenni. Amúgy nem volt, hogy alapvetően ennyit segítesz, az tökéletes. Hogyha valami így, nem tudom, olyan főleg egy ilyen játéknál. Inkább, mint hogy nem tudom. Itt lehetett volna használni is. Na, tehát azt mondom, hogy simán, ilyet segíthetsz simán. Na, kezd sok minden lenni, annyira, hogy így... Én nem is tudom, mit kéne átmenteni.
I don't
Hát... Megfelelő választ nem tudom. A lodge-ba mentem volna, meg ugye az új munkahelyre, meg Stefanihoz, meg mit tudom én.
My button. Why, I lost that months ago. Where did you find it?
Funny thing, that. I found it in the ashes. At the newspaper building.
What are you implying? That I had something to do with setting the fire? Preposterous. Why, 100 people must have visited that site since the fire. You just try showing that button to Sheriff Duane, son. He'll laugh you right out of his office. Sorry, son. No time to talk. It's been missing for months now. I keep meaning to get another, but, well, the button's very distinctive. I'd have to file an S-411 with Washington to get another, and I just don't need the extra paperwork. Sure wish I could find it. Next time you post.
Quest.
My button.
Funny.
What are you And what if I did? I guess I'd be pretty grateful to anyone who could help get me off the hook.
How?
You seem like a capable lad. Hypothetically, let's say there was a gas can sitting in the evidence room at the sheriff's office. A gas can which might have some incriminating prints on it. Someone might be very grateful for the return of that gas can. Say, grateful enough to provide whoever returned it with a lodge application.
Na.
Oh, and Steve,
Most már beszélünk.
You'll keep this to yourself. Oh my God, I can't believe it. After all this time.
Where's my application, Boyle?
Here, take it. With my thanks. You know, this morning as I was making my rounds, I noticed an awful lot of television aerials on the roofs. Seems like more and more each day. You got me this can just in time, youngster. I may have need of it again.
What do you mean?
There's another reason why Sheriff Duane didn't investigate the Sentinel fire. If you'd like to get something else on the blackmailing bastard, check around the television station. While you still can. Sorry, son. No time to... Next time you post.
Jó, hát ebből látni. Mi van a TV Station-nél?
Can't talk. Happy.
Don't hurry. Don't hurry back.
Hát ezt el lehetne vinni a... Jaj. Hát amúgy nem ide, de megnézhetjük még ezt. Is.
If you would find knowledge, you must seek it from the... Whether you... I've told you what you must do. If you would find knowledge, you must seek...
De van application. Használni kéne a tollat.
That's a ticket.
I see you managed to acquire an application. That demonstrates resourcefulness. You need a rest. Report back here.
Ja, akkor azért van ilyen, hogy azért hogy mit tudom én, D1. De már mind nem az, persze. Jó. Jó. Na jó, mindegy. Yeah, Tuesday. Yes. Egy fiúkból lett volna valami, de...
Marty. I hear him at night, thrashing and moaning. I crawl out my window and see Mom's shadow on the shade, pot holders on her hands.
Don't be silly. She wouldn't do that. Of course she'd slip.
Maybe that's why he's not getting better. Good. Leave me alone.
Mindig ezt a szart nézve hülye gyerek.
Good. Big what?
Hello, dear. Don't forget to put...
Oh, man. Okay.
Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it? Hey, did you ever find it? Whoa, that's great.
What could you give?
You know Miss Whaley and Principal Harold down at the school? Well, I found out they're messing around with each other in the broom closet. I can tell you when they meet and trade you some keys that'll let you
Okay.
Swell! Here's the keys to the broom closet at Gein Memorial. That's where they meet every day. About 3:45, as soon as everyone has gone home. Sometimes I hide in there beforehand. Daddy-o, I see some stuff that's real nasty. Take it from me. You made it good. See you later.
See you later, alligator. Na jó van, viszont én itt elmentem, mert még akarok enni, meg még is hehe. De amúgy csináljuk azt is, hogy ne csak hétfőn menjen, hogyha úgy van. De amúgy hogyha így van, és nem tudom mi van, annyit nyugodtan segítesz le, te nem izé, nem izé. Ja. Nem izé. Na, az főleg nem izé. De ja, szóval, hogy folytathatjuk nem csak hétfőn is akár. Nem izé. Jól van. Na, jól van, köszi. Jó. Hát, jó, nem azt mondtam, hogy folyamatosan, de így, hogy ennyire, amikor már most, nem tudom, mászkáltam, aztán most kicsit nem tudtam, ennyire teljesen okés. Csak így mondom, tehát, hogy... Ja. Na, jó van. Köszi. Nem izé. Majd re. Jó, hogy itt voltatok. Puszi mindenkinek, jó pihenést, majd jövök vissza.